Now, hello and welcome. I'm Dakota, and you're joining me for Mobility Thursday. This is part of my free class a day series I've been doing for the next 2 weeks, leading up to a very special big announcement. So hopefully you guys keep tuning in and enjoying all the little mini classes I've been presenting. Today's movement class is going to be a mobility-based, kind of like functional movement flexibility class. So really all you need is your body. Okay, yoga blocks, have them nearby, or something to prop yourself up on if you feel like you might need them at some point. It's nice just to have them handy. And then a mat would be great, but you can also do this on a permanent surface, on the ground, just whatever you have at your disposal. This one is super just like versatile. You can take it anywhere you go. But we're gonna go ahead and start moving our bodies gently from a seated position on the ground. Rest the wrist right onto your hands. All right, and we're going to start with a nice inhale. I want you to lift the chest, draw the center of the sternum in and lengthen the tailbone. Big exhale, keep that height, keep that nice strong core and breathe into the belly. Big inhale again, grow tall, space in the vertebrae, keep the long spine, roll the shoulders back just a little, and exhale. Good, release. Now keep that core braced, drop the chin down to your chest, and slowly lift the chin, looking up towards the ceiling, and continue rocking the head down and up. Now, when you look all the way up towards the ceiling, I want to make sure that you don't crank your head all the way back, right? I don't want you to crunch the cervical vertebrae. So just a nice natural, I want to look up and down. Good. And then bring that to center, and you can look over one shoulder and then over the other shoulder. Now, when you're looking over the shoulders, we're again keeping the core braced so the torso's not moving. And you're just slowly trying to look a little further behind you as far as your neck mobility will let you go. Very nice. Bring it to center. And we're going to tip side to side. With this tip, you're letting the ear be really heavy and fall towards the shoulder. Think about creating a little bit more length through your vertebrae as you come up to the center before you find that bend. And it's always good to be really tall feeling before we do any sort of bending through our torso and through our spine. Excellent. Now drop the chin to the chest. Let the weight of the head be heavy. Rock your ear from one shoulder and then rock the other ear to the other shoulder. Nice and slow. So slow control movements are going to allow our muscles to start easing into the range of motion we're bringing them in. And we don't want them to contract because they think they're getting hurt. So this is just nice and easy. And breathe while you do this, of course. Oxygen's your friend. Good. And bring that to center. Excellent. Now, I'm just going to turn a little bit sideways so you guys can get a different view of my body. You can continue staying in a cross-legged position, or if you want to, you can go into like a butterfly sit position. Just kind of depends what you want to do. This will open your hips, but it can be a little more challenging for some folks. Or maybe this is really hard for you, and this is a little bit easier. Okay, so listen to your body, do what you gotta do. Wherever you're at, you can bring the hands onto the front of the shins. I want you to grow really tall. Drop the chin down to the chest again. And this time, think of snaking your nose down the front of your torso towards your pelvis. And then reach the nose forward towards the toes. Look all the way up to the ceiling, all the way into your stack back over the hips. And then go just a little bit further right here, tuck everything in. You're sitting on the tailbone, scoop your chest, scoop the nose down, and then big, big wave all the way to the top. So we're drawing a really big spinal wave forward and back. Breathe into this. Bigger, the better here, as long as our sits bones are staying grounded and our ankles are staying grounded. Good. Now, if you want to, you're welcome to add some arms into this. So you're going to sit back, arms in front, sweep them behind you as you go forward. And of course, we're still breathing. Really contract the abdominals, pull the center of the ribs in as you sit back. I want you to find that nice long C curve in your spine. One more. Excellent. And bring that back to center. Very nice. I'm going to turn to face you again. And then sit however is comfortable for you. Take one arm up. I want you to reach that finger really high. This entire side of your body becomes long, and you're pushing that hip into the ground. Find a side bend here. Inhale, exhale. Hip and ribs are reaching away. Don't let this hip lift into the air. Keep pressing down. Lift up. We're going to take that to the other side. Lift and over. So we're taking a nice side sway with the spine, making sure the spine is long in the back of us, so tailbone's heavy, belly button's pulled back, and introducing some gentle movement into our body in a slightly different plane. Good. This usually feels super yummy if you spend a lot of time sitting, driving your car. Excellent. All right, one more time. Fantastic, and bring that in. All right, so we're gonna move into a kneeling position. Now in our kneeling position, our hips will stay on the heels or sit back to the heels when you start. We're still keeping the spine long to begin with. If this is uncomfortable for you, you can take a yoga block, place it right between your legs so you can put your sit bone down on it, and then you can sit like this, and sometimes this takes the pressure off the knees. If this is still too much, I want you to find a comfortable way. You can go back to that cross-legged sit or butterfly sit and just modify to make it work for your body. But wherever you're at, bring your hands right outside of your knees. Now push the floor away. And I want you to push so hard that the shoulder blades open, they lift to the ceiling, and maybe your glutes lift off your heels just a little bit. And then do the opposite. Sit down. Pull your palms towards the knees as you open the front of your chest. Inhale, exhale, push the floor away, rounding the spine, tucking the tailbone under. And inhale, exhale, open the front of the chest. Good. Now, as you're doing this cat-cow type movement from the kneeling position, we're really focusing on the hands, how they're engaging with the floor. And if you're doing that push and you want to push a little bit bigger and maybe get onto the tops of your feet a little bit, you can start to open that movement even more. Good. Open the front of the chest. Control, embrace the core, press and lift. Creating space in the front, creating space in the back. Maybe one or two more, pulling the hands and pushing the hands. Good. Now continue coming back to where we started. And we're going to go just into the shoulder blades. So we're going to add shoulder shrugs. So I want you to pull the floor back. As you do that, your shoulder blades retract down your spine to keep a relatively neutral torso. And then you're going to shrug the shoulders up to the ears, push the floor away so that the shoulders come all the way up. Pull the floor, retract the shoulder blades back, and then push the floor open. So this is a much smaller movement, but we're really focusing on what is happening with the shoulder blades. They're the main movers here. So definitely not as big as those spinal waves we were just doing. Good, really pushing and pulling the hands on the ground, almost like you want to drag yourself forward or push yourself back. Should get a nice warming sensation in the forearms and in the shoulders. And of course, we're articulating and focusing the movement into the shoulder blades, which often get super worked up. So this should, again, feel good, or it might feel weird and new to you. One or two more. And release it to center. Nice work, guys. All right, so let's go ahead and come down onto our backs. And we're gonna come all the way down, almost like you're about to do a hip bridge. Shoulders are on the ground, back of the head on the ground, shoulder blades are down. We're gonna line our core, line the spine first. So shoulders are pulling back, center of the ribs are pulling in, like you wanna go in towards the spine. And then the belly button pulls through the spine to the ground, squeeze the butt slightly, and scoop the tailbone just a little bit, all right? So you should feel like everything is just pulling or being squished down into the ground. Arms are gonna come out to the side, fingers pointed away, palms down. Take your feet and step them just a little bit wider than where you were in that hip bridge type position. From here, tip the knees over to the left. As you do so, you're gonna be rolling onto the outside of your feet, and you're gonna feel that back hip lifting. That's okay. Bring it back to center, and tip to the other side. So again, you can kind of pull and push with the feet as you take this side to side. Ooh, and breathe. guys. A few more here. Now, as we tip to the side, we're going to introduce another thought into what we're doing. So as you tip over, think about elongating the tailbone and pulling the ribs in. If you do that, you'll start to feel that back hip flexor. Start to get into the movement a little bit more. You might be talking to you a little bit, or it might feel really good. Excellent. All right, next time you tip over to the left, you're on your left hip, hold it there. Release the right leg, drag the toe along the ground, past your left leg, and then almost like you want to reach your right toe towards your left fingers, and then sweep the toe back to center. Tip to the right, left toe drags along the ground, all the way over towards the right fingers, and then sweep it back. Now you can continue this leg sweep motion. Feet are always staying connected to the ground. So try and resist the step over, all right? You're gonna miss some of that elongation and that core work we're going for here. And you can add a little bit more speed to this if it starts to feel good. Ooh, almost like you're releasing the leg as it goes. Yeah. Good, let's do one more each side. And over. Fantastic, bring it back to center. Recenter to where we were when we started the knee tips. Tip the knees over to the left. Now, we're gonna hold here for a moment. Focus on your back leg, that should be your right leg. Okay. Starting at the belly button, pull the belly button back through the spine. Think of bringing the front of your pubic bone into the belly button. Tailbone is long and is reaching down towards the heels of your feet. And then you're gonna press the inside of your right thigh down towards the ground and finish by driving that right knee away from you, creating a nice long sense of length down the entire right side of your body. Core is braced in, and release that. Ooh, let's tip over to the right. So let's reset everything. Start with the belly button. Belly button pulls back. Front of your pubic bone pulls to the belly button. Tailbone becomes really long, driving towards the heels. Inside of the left thigh becomes really heavy, and then drive that left knee away from you. Keep everything in line, tucking the pelvis. Fantastic. Let's do that one more time on each side. So inhale, exhale, check in with the core, lengthen the tailbone, heavy leg, press the knee away, breathe. And bring it to center, finishing on the right side. Draw the center of your core in, pull the pelvis under, tailbone long, leg heavy, leg reaching away from the knee. And bring that back to center. Nice work, guys. So go ahead and walk your feet in so they're about shoulder width apart, hip width apart. And we're gonna move into a hip bridge. So reset that torso just like we did before, shoulders down, ribs in, belly button down, butt tucking. Now I want you to focus on just what's happening in the hips and the tailbone. So go ahead and squeeze the butt, pull the front of your pubic bone towards your nose again, and do it so hard that just your tailbone floats off the ground, just the tailbone. All right, now make sure you're not sucking the belly in. I want you to think of lifting the belly button to the center of your body up into the rib cage a little bit. Good. Now lift a vertebrae or two up, check in as you pause, and make sure that your spine's staying nice and long, that tailbone is reaching towards the corner of the room, slightly up. Go up another vertebrae or two, and hold, recheck in. So what we're trying to avoid, as we lift the hips, you can lift a little bit more if you want to. I call it peacock chest and duck butt. Right? So peacock chest is when your ribs kind of flare open and your belly button lifts, and duck butt's when you just really just sink the tailbone back, right? So this does absolutely nothing for us except put us in an uncomfortable position. So we want to create that braced core and that long tailbone. Good. Let's roll down the vertebrae one at a time, almost till the tailbone touches the ground, but don't let it happen, and roll it back up. Squeeze the butt, press through the heels, open the front of your body, inhale, exhale, roll it down. Good, so nice spinal articulation here. Rolling one vertebrae at a time. Checking in with that core every so often. Making sure we're not getting a peacock chest and we're not getting duck butt. Good. Now hold your next one up. Finding the left hip. I want you to let the left hip drop a little bit lower than the right hip. As you do so, again, don't let the tailbone rock open. I want you to keep it scooped under. Good. Now squeeze the right butt cheek and lift the left hip. Squeeze that left butt cheek and let the right hip fall heavy. So squeeze and lift. So we're rocking the hips up one at a time. Now use your imagination here, and I want you to envision that your hip bones, the front of your hip bones, are climbing up a ladder, climbing up a series of steps. So every time you lift that one hip, it's going just a little bit higher than it was before, even if that means half a millimeter. Keep squeezing and pressing, squeezing and pressing. Your glutes and hamstrings might be talking to you a little bit by now. That's good, that's what I want. Again, belly button heavy, back of the ribs are super heavy. Almost there. And hold it at the top. Good. Now holding here, we're going to do one little PNF action. I want you to squeeze the heels of your feet by lifting the toes. Squeeze the heels towards your butt like you're trying to squish the mat up underneath you. Keep the core braced. Keep the pelvis lifted. Good. And then I want you to roll into the balls of your feet. Lift the heels. Press the hips up just a little higher. Just enough that you can still maintain your form without letting the hips drop down. I want you to slowly press the heels to the ground. You should have a nice high hip bridge by now. Woo! Roll that all the way down. Tuck the knees into your chest. Give it a little breather. You can even draw little circles with your knees right here. Excellent. Let's go the other direction. Excellent. All right, so going back to hip bridge, I want you to lift the hips, all right? And maybe not quite as high as you had it before, but we still got the nice long spine. Think about shifting the weight into the left hip and lifting the right hip slightly. So we're rolling onto the left shoulder here. I want you to press that arm into the ground. If you need to, your right hand can slide over and come in front of you, or you can just squeeze that right butt cheek hard, and we're gonna go for a leg lift with the left leg. So squeeze the right hip, keep the core strong, press into the left arm, and see if you can extend the left leg straight. Ooh, I know that one's a booty burner. And bring it down. Reset to center. Let's do that on the other side. So press that left hip up, left glute is really engaged and working. Press strong through the right arm. And then lift the right leg, pressing through the heel, finding a nice balance and extension here. Bring it down. Now we're gonna do it one more time, but this time I want you to really roll onto your left shoulder, even more than before, allowing the right fingers to come in front of your nose for extra balance. Push through the ground, squeeze the right glutes, and then little balance challenge here. Keep tucking the butt under, keep the core long. Woo! I want you to externally rotate that lifted leg just a little. Yes, and bring it in. Come to center, sweep that right to the other side. So press through the right arm, squeeze and align your spine. Lift the right leg, press up and hold. And then externally rotate the right hip just a little bit. Woo. And bring it to center, leg comes down. And tuck the knees, good work. That's one of those like slightly deceptive moves, harder than it looks. Woo. All right, hug the right leg into your chest. So you're hugging the right shin. And go ahead and put the left leg on the ground. Now squeezing that right leg in towards the outside of your ribs slightly. Keep your right hip on the ground. Flex your left foot. And I want you to think of pushing the heel away to lengthen the leg as much as possible. Push, 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 like you're trying to drive the wall away. Good. Now, push the right hip down to meet the left hip without letting the leg move. And then relax the left leg. Good. Kind of move that right shin, that right thigh across your body a little bit. Trying to square up the hips here. All right, one more time. Flex the left foot, put a slight bend in the knee, pull the heel towards the butt, align the hips, and then press away, press away, press away, trying to make that look like long, 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 and then you can find a full extension at the end. Woo. And relax. Let's switch legs. So pulling that left thigh in, Flex the right foot, squeeze the heel in, and then drive away, drive away, drive away. Make that leg nice and long. Push the left hip down to meet towards the right hip without letting the leg travel too far, and find your full extension from there. Let's do that one more time. Flex the left foot, bend the knee, squeeze the heel to the butt. Go ahead and start pushing the left hip down. Inhale, exhale, push your right heel away, but don't let that left hip lift. And reach, 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 reach. Full extension. Excellent. And top it in. Woo! Workout. All right. So we're going to come on up, sip some water if you need it. And we're going to move into a down dog position. So, hands shoulder width apart, knees starting in a tabletop, lengthen the spine right here. All right, and then we're going to press the hips up by rolling onto the balls of the feet, push the floor away, push the thighs back or chest back towards the thighs. Woo! And then pedal your feet in place. So your hamstrings might still be a little tight, not cooperating yet. That's what we're going to work on here. Also going to work on opening the shoulders. So when you're in a down dog position or a pike, I want you to think of pressing through the index fingers of your hands so that you're driving the shoulders up to the ears. If we have relaxed arms, that's where you see your head popping up, right? And you're just kind of sinking into your skeletal structure. We don't want to avoid that. Stay strong, stay active. All right, push the heels towards the ground. Give me a big length here. Now you're going to rock your weight forward slightly. Tuck the left knee into your chest, find a semi-plank. Good. And then drive that leg back and up, lifting into down dog. And squeeze, tuck it in. Good. Semi-plank. Back up, three-legged dog. And up. Fantastic. High as you can go. Listen to your body. Woo. And up. Hold it at the top if you can. Flex your foot. Push the heel away, lengthen that leg even more. Open your hip behind you just a little bit. Kick your heel towards your butt. Opening through the left side of your body. Left hip flexor. Bring it back to center. Tuck the left knee back in and put that shin on the ground. All right, so you're gonna rest the back leg down. Make sure you're not on your kneecaps, you're more right towards the bottom of the quad. And then you can relax the leg. So we're in a nice like stacked pigeon, right? So usually pigeon stretch, we're open and the leg comes across, but we're gonna stay stacked here. So this is where blocks can come in handy if you need them. Otherwise, try and get up towards your fingertips. Hands come to the front of your belly. Squeeze the butt. I want you to lift up slightly. Now think of taking that back right hip. I want you to drive it forward. Almost like you're trying to drag that entire hip forward. Lengthen the tailbone. Put that little corset on, and then think of inhaling as you exhale, lift up, 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 grow tall, and keep the hips square, drive the shoulders back, drive the back hip forward. Nice. Good, relax forward, wiggle things out. We're gonna do that one more time. So, align yourself, fingertips or blocks, square everything up, tuck and lift everything, inhale, exhale, drive it forward. Now, we don't want to have pinching in the low spine, so really think of that tailbone going long. If you're feeling comfortable, extend the arms up, reach the fingers towards the sky, and then pull the shoulder blades down and back. Turn your gaze to your fingers, inhale, exhale. You can do a little bit more of a front extension here, if that's in your range of motion. Woo, and bring it down. Nice work, guys. Go ahead and sit back into a slight child's pose. Woo, wiggle the hips. Good work. We're gonna do that on the other side. So, tap the toes, back to down dog, back to pedaling yourself in place. Again, we're pushing strong through the index fingers, driving the shoulders to the ears, and still your feet. Give me big pike stretch, big down dog. Now we're gonna lift the right leg, tuck the right thigh towards your chest, rock forward, three-legged plank, big extension, exhale, lifting that leg up, and then coming back in. Inhale, exhale, lift, and in. Good work, y'all. Lift, strong plank. One or two more. Keep breathing through. Let's hold that last one up. Good, really extend that leg, flex your foot, push the heel up to the ceiling a little bit more. Keep pushing in the floor, keeping the shoulders next to the ears. Let that right hip fall behind you just a little bit, flex the foot, and keep driving energy through the left heel. And return to center, right thigh tucks back in, and come back. We're stacking into our stack pigeon. Other side. All right, guys. So go ahead and lift up slightly. Back hip squares up forward. Front hip comes back. Pull the pelvis under. Lift up just slightly. Hands in. Inhale. Exhale. Begin to lengthen up as much as you can. Shoulders start to fall back as you continue to drive the back hip forward. If you're doing this right, you should be breaking a little bit of a sweat. Woo! And relax. Wiggle things out. Good work, y'all. All right, we're gonna do that again. So round two, square everything up. Bring it up, use your blocks, use your fingers. Square, tuck, driving that back hip forward. Inhale, exhale, breathe. Continue pulling the pelvis underneath you. If you want to, arms can come up. Reach up as high as you can, then pull the shoulders down. Keep driving the back hip forward. Inhale, exhale, find a front extension as you look towards the fingers. And bring it in and down. Nice work, guys. All right, little child's pose here for me. Knees are wider than your hips. You can stay a little lifted and rock the hips out side to side. Woo. All right, hands in front of you. Chest falls down low. Press onto your fingertips here. Press onto the fingertips so hard that your arms lift off the ground. Think of swiveling your shoulders away from your ears and pulling the shoulder blades down your back, almost like you're trying to drag the floor to you from the fingertips. Once you're here, inhale, exhale, lengthen the tailbone and push the chest towards the ground. Keep pulling those shoulder blades back. And relax. Lift your thumbs to the ceiling. Press into the outside of your hands. Fingers reach long, shoulders pull back again, and think of dragging your palms towards your knees. Inhale, exhale, chest drops low. Continue that nice active pull with the hands. Shoulder warmer here. Good, and relax. All right, coming back to the thumbs up look, you can rest your forehead on the ground here. I want you to press strong through both arms again. Keep the right arm in contact with the ground, pushing away. Lift the left thumb up. Open it out to the side. Bring it back in. Open it out. Keep really strong through that right arm. And good. Back to center. Reestablish that lift. Going into the right arm. Open it. Back to center. Open it. Back to center. Strong, strong push through the outside of your left hand. And relax down. Woo! All right, come onto your forearms. So you're stacking the hips up just a little bit. We're gonna thread our right arm through the center, underneath the left armpit, reaching as far away as you can. And then think of grabbing something with your palm, like you got a rubber band, and you're gonna pull it in. Pull it across your chest so hard that your left elbow goes to the ground and you open your chest towards the wall behind you, and then scoop it back under. Grab that rubber band again and pull. Pull it across the front of your chest, open, all the way up and down. Nice thoracic rotation here. Pull, pull, pull. And down and hold it here. Rest the right shoulder to the ground. Hips can fall heavy. Reach that left arm in front of you as much as you can. And see if you can walk the fingers behind you. Pull the ribs in and sit the butt back until you find a nice little stretch here. Great. Rotate back to center. Good, let's do that on the other side. So, left arm reaches out to the side, keep that right elbow soft. Reach underneath, grab that rubber band again and pull it forward. Right forearm to the ground, pull across the center of your chest, opening up to the ceiling, and scoop under again. Press and pull, 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 open, 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 core is tight. No arch in that low back. One more time, reach and pull, pull. Give yourself that resistance with your brain. And shoot that arm through. Sit the left shoulders on the ground. Palms are open. Reach that right arm in front of you and across your back a little bit. Ooh, tailbone's heavy. Breathing. And slowly bring it to center. Very nice, guys. All right, shake those legs in front of you. So, I'm not gonna have time for everything I wanted to do today, but we're gonna move into wrist for a second, and then we have a little flow that we'll work on to finish this off today. So, take your palms on the ground in front of you. It's kind of back to that kneeling position we were in at the start, but keep them in line with your shoulders this time. While you're here, slowly rotate your fingers out. Ideally, we want the inside of our palms to face each other, with the fingers on the ground and the palms floating on the ground, so none of that, right? We're pushing the floor away. If this is not too uncomfortable for you, lift your weight a little bit. Good. And then think of pushing with one hand and then pushing with the other. The pushing motion causes your shoulders to kind of sway side to side. All right, so push and lift, push away, push up and away. You can even think of kind of grabbing and squeezing the floor a little. That push up and away, that squeeze is kind of the feeling you do in bears, planks, and bring it to center. Now you can start to turn your fingertips to face the knees. As much as you can comfortably go until the palms are on the ground. Good. From here, sit your butt back. As you do that, you're going to peel the heels of your hands off the ground and think of bending your back of your arms in towards your chest. And then sit back up. Arms straight, sit back. Just a little. This is nice and gentle. Lift. Peel the heels of the palms up. Bend the elbows in. Ooh, and bring it in. Straight arms. One more time. Up to center, peel the heels of the palm off the ground, pull the forearms in, and come to center, and then big sit back, and lift, and release. Nice, guys. Final thing here, we're gonna take your hands, I call this the gorilla stretch, okay? I'm gonna turn just a little bit. So when we do this one, we're gonna put the back of our palms on the ground, but we wanna make sure we don't get bulldog arms, that's what I call it, okay? So alignment is more important first before we do anything else. So keep the weight in your legs for now. Use your core to hold your torso up. Put the back of your hands on the ground. Push the ground away so your shoulders are pressing up and we're not sinking in, okay? Good, and you should be able to kind of wiggle your fingers here, yeah? Now, if you're ready to get more of a stretch down the front of your wrists, front of your forearms, you can begin to sit the hips back as long as you don't bulldog arm, right? So only go as far as your body will let you go today. And then wherever you're at, I want you to make a big fist with your hands. It's the gorilla stretch. And then push up and away, relax. Make a fist, hard as you can, push up and away. Relax the fingers, one more, push. And relax, rolling off, and then roll things out. Woo! Yeah, I tend to like get really tense with our hands all the time, so hopefully that felt pretty yummy. The last thing we're gonna do today, so we're gonna go into a little, I guess a little flow is what I would call it. So we're gonna come into a loaded child's pose. So that means that our toes are tucked under, our arms are outstretched in front of us, right? You might know this move from working out like a playing shooter, okay? It's gonna be very similar to that. So I'm gonna lift the knees off the ground a little bit and push through the palms, pushing my shoulders away. Good. Now you're gonna drive the legs forward, find your plank, sliding like there's a wall or ceiling right over top of you. Sit back low. So what we're trying to avoid is this like rolling motion up and down. If doing it with the knees off the ground is too much, you can do the same motion with the knees on the ground and working in a kneeling plank. Yeah, something for everybody. So sit back, and then I want you to drive forward, pull with those palms. Good. One more time, sit it back. and drive forward. Fantastic. Now, take your left leg and step it towards the outside of your left hand, right in line with your left pinky. Yeah. Now, while you're here, you're pushing up and away and staying strong. If you need to, you can relax this back leg on the ground. But I want to make sure that everything up here isn't getting lazy, okay? So still pushing up and away. Good. Now, push through the right palm so you can lift the left hand off the ground. Pull with your left hand, pull with your right hand, and I want the top of your left foot to tap the back of your left leg and then come back to that runner's lunge. So tap, bring it in. Tap, bring it in. One more. Tap, bring it in. Sit it back. Relax, child's pose. Good. We're going to try that guy on the other side. So load it up. Drive forward. Right leg steps towards the outside of your right hand. Again, if you need to drop the leg, you can, but you should also be getting that nice like hip flexor warm here. Push up and away. Push into the left palm. Pull with the right palm or right heel and tap the left heel to the right heel. Let's bring it back. Runner's lunge. Tap in. Bring it back. I know your quads are probably talking to you too. Mine are. Don't worry, I feel it too. One more time. In. Back to plank, back to loaded child's pose, and relax. Excellent, guys. All right, so last part of this, I'm going to demonstrate it first, so if you want to kind of watch, and then we'll talk through it together. So we're going to go back to that plank shooter for the loaded child's pose. Lunge. We'll do that tap. Now, if you want a progression, that tap is going to become a kick through, but we're going to keep our hips off the ground the whole time. So look a little something like this. So drive forward, step one leg forward. We're going to do that tap. And instead of stopping, I'm going to shoot my leg all the way through, externally rotate, pressing up and reach it forward. Yeah. And then I have to push and pull, slide it back through, come back to that runner's lunge. Now, a modification, if you want to break this up into steps, right here, step through, keep that right heel on the ground, and then do your kick that way, yeah? So, let's try that a few times on each side. I'm gonna face you guys now, just to give you a different viewpoint. Here, drive forward, left leg forward lunge. We're gonna step through, keep the left heel on the ground, reaching through, reach like someone's grabbing your leg, pull it back to lunge, loaded child's pose. Drive forward, right leg forward, left leg slides through, extend, reach, keep this strong, press and lift. Let's continue moving side to side. If you want to add a little bit more speed to this, you're welcome to. Good. A little primal movement flow here. If we had a longer class, we would be doing a couple more sequences, but this is just a little preview class for me. Bring it in and sit it back. Breathe. Relax those palms up. Sit it back and down. Ooh. Good. All right, so we're gonna finish off coming back into here, and we're gonna work on that kick through and taking it into a step so that we can go into a crab type position. So instead of the plank, right, you're gonna take in and start in bear pose. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips, spine long, ribs lifted in, all right? Now you're gonna take your left leg, step it through, your hand on the outside of the leg, push up and away, release the right hand, pull it across your chest so that your hips come up towards the ceiling, rotate, step under, other leg, step through, outside of the foot, push up and away, rotate, continue pushing away, little crab type position, bring it down and through. So step, open, step, through, step, open, step, through, here, good, excellent, open, through. Now, step the left leg under, but this time I want you to reach it really far away. Lift by pushing into the foot, opening into wild thing. Pull it in, sit the butt back, rotate under, crab. Right leg step through, reach it further away, press and lift the hips, open wild thing, pull it in, butt down, sit it back. Step, sweep open, bring it in, and down, step, sweep open, bring it in. One more time, step, reach it open, hips go up, open, to the other side, to finish. And bring it down. Nice workout. Come into a comfortable seated position. Woo! All right, hopefully you got a little sweat going. Feeling pretty good. Roll the shoulders a little bit for me. Kind of ground those back down. Hope you guys enjoyed that little preview class. Roll the shoulders the other way. Whew. So what's great about that kind of movement is we're still kind of lengthening and stretching our body, but we're working through our range of motion and we're working through the ways our body should move. So if you start to do stuff like this and it feels incredibly difficult, that's okay. Just remember that you're trying to undo a lifetime of bad movement that you've had throughout your life. Sitting in a chair, looking at your phone, typing on a computer, driving a car, okay? That just takes our body into this constant contracted state, which makes us super tight. It gives you headaches, makes your neck hurt, makes your back hurt, it makes your hips hurt, okay? So this is a great way to slowly start to open your body up without forcing it to do static stretching, which I think is really important, that we use the active dynamic movements to bring awareness back into our body and also to strengthen our body through those natural ranges of motion and movement patterns. Yeah. So let's just do a quick shoulder stretch here. Shoulder down and back. Woo, breathe, keep tall in the vertebrae. I see some comments, so I'll get to you in just a second. Woo. Shoulder down and back and breathe. Good. And a little chest opener, so interlace the fingers behind you. If you're unable to interlace your fingers, grab your yoga block or just pretend like you're squeezing a ball. Knuckles go down, center of the chest comes in, spine stays long, lift the chest and lift the fingers. I'm trying to avoid that or that, right? So nice tall core, strong and braced. Good, release, find a butterfly stretch. We're gonna begin by sitting up nice and tall, long spine, rock forward, almost like you're trying to stick your butt behind you, keeping the spine long. So we don't wanna rock onto the tailbone and sit back in, right here. You can take your forearms to the inside of your thighs and let the weight of your arms encourage those legs to go maybe a hair deeper. Good. Now inhale, lift. As you exhale, begin to fold down, melt over your legs, keeping that long spine. Reach your arms in front of you. Inhale, exhale, drop the chin to your chest. Now start to walk your hands forward. So you're gonna kind of be rocking the ribs, rocking the shoulders. You're not really gonna walk anywhere, but I want you to keep the idea of the walking. Stop the walking, inhale, exhale. Just let everything relax. If you wanna bring the arms in, cradle your feet, that's fine. Wherever you're at, bring the hands in front of you, right under your shoulders. Push away, and I want you to keep the rounded spine and push back onto your tailbone. Open the shoulder blades, lengthen the low back. Deep breath here. And slowly bring it up, standing. All right, y'all, thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed today's little movement class. Again, I'm Dakota. You can find me on the YouTube and the Instagram at Dakota Fox. These videos will be archived on my YouTube channel and Instagram TV. So even if you didn't get to catch all of it today, if you saw a little bit and you wanted to try it, you can refer back, try it later. So make sure you bookmark it, save it, share it, leave a comment, let me know how you felt, if you had any questions on the movements, and be sure to tune into my social media pages. All the way up until February 7th, there's gonna be a free movement class a day, anything from flexibility to workouts, HIIT workouts, to strength training, to mobility classes, to pole dancing, all the things I love to do. I am sharing it with you guys for the next couple of weeks, building up to a really big, fun, important announcement. So hope you guys stick with me, and I will see you next time. Bye.